Hi, Professor and fellow classmates. I'm Kathleen Jew, and today I will be summarizing my artifact, the film Crash, directed by Paul Haggis, and I also will be outlining how I will perform a narrative criticism on my artifact. So, Crash is a movie that exposes different kinds of social and multicultural differences, giving us a quick example of how these conducts affects our society. So, two of the main behaviors that are observed in this movie are prejudice and stereotyping. These behaviors are identified as the causes of where all the events eradicate, and these behaviors are also viewed as thoughts and feelings that almost everyone has felt more than once. So in this rhetorical criticism paper, I will be using the methodology of narrative criticism, as mentioned earlier, to examine a few of the main features of this artifact. And in doing so, I will attempt to answer the question, does the use of character and events in this artifact successfully accomplish the objective to teach, instruct, or offer lessons to the audience? So a narrative criticism focuses on the stories a speaker or a writer tells us to understand how they help us make meaning out of our daily human experiences. This methodology allows us to be an objective observer and allows us to explain why and how certain tenets convey the movie's objective. So after watching Crash and giving a very thorough examination of the narrative, I decided that the best tenets to use in this case were characters and events. The other tenets, such as narrator, theme, etc., do not apply or is not as important. So in order to successfully use the tenets, characters, and events in my narrative criticism, I had to ask myself some questions. So for characters, I asked myself questions such as, who are the main characters in the narrative, and what are the physical and mental traits of the characters? And for events, I asked myself questions like, what are the major and minor events of the artifact, and how are the events presented? So in this movie, there are a lot of main characters, but I've narrowed it down to the characters that I thought were to be the most important. So the main characters I will be focusing on in this paper will be Anthony, Peter Waters, Daniel, and Farhad. So to start off, Anthony is an African American car thief who steals vehicles for a chop shop owner. Anthony is very, very vocal about the racist and stereotypical views others hold to black people, despite in many ways conforming to these stereotypes. The second character is Peter Waters, who is Anthony's friend and partner in crime. He is also a car thief, but unlike Anthony, he is more open-minded to other races, and he is open to these stereotypes that he is given because he is also African American. And he says that, oh, maybe we are given these stereotypes because we actually conform to them, and he actually it isn't just black and white for him. He is very open-minded to these topics. Daniel is a Mexican-American locksmith, and he faces a lot of discrimination from characters in this movie because according to the characters, he looks like a gangbanger to them, when actually he is a very devoted family man. He's very loving and very caring to his daughter, Lara. She had a bullet go through her room in the previous neighborhood they stayed at, which is why Daniel moved to a safer neighborhood and enrolled his daughter to a private school, even though he's only a locksmith and makes minimum wage. Farhad is a Persian store owner who is afraid for his own safety and the safety of his family. He is depicted as frustrated by the racial harassment that he experiences in the United States. as well as deterred by difficulties with speaking English. His store is very important to him in this film because it is the only thing him and his family owns. So next, for events, I haven't specifically chosen what events I'd like to use to show the relationship between the characters and also how each character's prejudice and discriminative thoughts lead to the events occurring one after another and how they tie in together. But all in all, this movie does a great job making us as the audience look into the mirror and really ask ourselves if we ever commit to a stereotypic act or assume other people are a certain way purely due to appearance, race, etc. So this concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you look forward to reading my paper. Thank you.